Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I have both the 2-hole beads of the month club and the hot and trendy club to share with you all, plus the additional optional findings companion pack that you can choose to add on if you're a subscriber to any of the beads of the month clubs. I'll leave the link to this subscription right down below the video. They've got all sorts of different options, including different sizes. The single size, like you see on the left for the 2-hole club that I have, will contain half the quantities of beads. So it'll still have the same number of containers that you'll see in the double size, like the example I have down there in the middle with the hot and trendy club. And you're welcome to sign up to more than one. They also have monthly seed beads, delicas, fire polish, and their new gemstone beads club. So you can find all the details on their website, which is linked below. And I also have a coupon code, which is Opal10. That will save you 10% off your first month of your first club if you'd like to try them out. And if you're outside the US, you can contact them via email and just ask them about shipping to your location. Sometimes they will make exceptions and they'll give you a specific quote to wherever you're located. So I'm a subscriber of their rotating club, and that will rotate through all their different clubs, sending you a different one each month. And I also subscribe monthly to the 2-hole and the hot and trendy. So this happens to be a month where the double rotating club and my hot and trendy club overlap. And that's why this one is in the larger size this time around. And something else I like to do when that happens is I plan to come back later in the month with a specific tutorial using the beads that you see here. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do, and maybe see what I make from these contents. Let's get started by checking out their findings companion pack for the month. It says this is the Tiara Cast Gold assortment. So here is a sneak peek of some lovely gold toned findings. If you decide to sign up to this companion pack, every month the tone of metal will change, so you'll get something different each and every month. And I've been loving these companion packs because the quality of the findings is very good, but also they send some really unique things that I probably wouldn't have picked up on my own. The first items on the list are the twisted hook with 16 gauge 5mm ring clasp. There's 2 sets here. As you can see, the lovely twisted detail towards the loop portion back there on the hook clasp. These are really substantial, and the gold finish is in very good shape, smooth and glossy, with those substantial jump rings as well. We also have 4 of these metal chevron beads, which is really interesting and could be used with actual glass chevron beads too. You could use these to break up the glass a little bit and add some beautiful golden metallic shine. They have 1 hole that goes through the peak of that chevron. Next, we have the crisscross link. We have 1 piece of this with the double loops on either side. I could see this going well with those chevron beads too, because they kind of imitate that shape. And this is the same on the front and the back. They've also included 10 of these small 3mm faceted spacer beads, also in that coordinating gold metallic. And they look like they have just the slightest little dotted detail around the widest area of these beads. We also have 2 of these pinch bails. They're just called smooth pinch bails, and I could see these actually being very handy when you get their gemstone beads in the month club. If they send some pendants from time to time that don't have a bail that's already included, I bet these would go really well with those. Next is this pair of dome earring posts with that protective red area on the back of the post. These have that similar, very substantial feel, even though they are a smaller post earring, with that more simplistic design just being the polished brassy gold color. And then last, we have 10 oval jump rings in the 20 gauge size, 4x3mm, and these are a very simple item, but I love getting these oval jump rings because of how they sit when you're making jewelry. The split is not going to naturally sit in the spot where you're trying to hold 2 different things together. So they are actually a better option in a lot of cases if you're able to get your hands on these. So I think we're off to a great start. Some very useful gold tone findings to add to my stash. I'm always happy to welcome anything Tiara Cast. I really like that brand. And if you want to sign up for the Findings Companion Pack add-on, it's around the $12-ish a month price point. Now that we've checked those out, let's take a look at the first bead club. Again, this is the single size, and you can opt to sign up for the double size, which would have twice the quantities of beads. As you can see, our theme for the month is called Winter Night, and that theme, by the way, could be different from person to person, just depending on where you are in your subscription. You may have gotten this one too if you also subscribe to the same club, or you may have gotten a different theme. And this one, of course, comes with all sorts of different 2-hole check glass beads, and also sometimes the addition of Miyuki Tila 2-hole beads. So let's do a little flip over. Gorgeous. I'm seeing lots of deep bluish tones, dark gray, and some of that AB coating over some jet black. So we have a lot to take a look at. Let me get organized, then we'll take a look at everything up close. We'll begin with container number 1, which is holding the Jet AB Pyros Parpuka beads. There's 6.5 grams included in the container. And I'm only dumping out some of these in my hand, so not the full quantity. I still find that even with these single size clubs, we still have so much to work with, and there's a lot that you can make even with this size club. But these are those Pyros beads that are those thin rectangular slices that have that little bit of a peak at the top, which reminds me of like a little roof. And it looks like they have the jet black solid color that's coming through on one side, and then that AB coating shows up on the other side, giving us the reflective metallic blue, green, gold, all those different tones that come through with that AB coating on the jet black. Very striking. Our second container is holding the Jet AB Samos Parpuka beads, 6.5 grams of those also. And you can see, just like the Pyros, these have the jet black opaque glass base, and then that AB coating that shows up on the top of the bead where it's domed. I usually say these remind me of the 2-hole cabochon beads, except they are in that oval shape instead of being a complete circle or round. And they've got that flat base with the 2 holes that run across parallel through the center of the bead. In container 3, we have the matte black Peacock AB brick beads with 45 pieces. And I just dropped some on the floor, so I'll have to pick that up in just a minute. But here they are. We have the peacock style, which is this polka dot looking effect that you see in the check glass beads, typically when you see peacock in the name. And we have that great contrast with the matte frosty black in the background, and then these metallic circles that show up, which have different tones in a sort of metallic rainbow-like design, randomly popping up on the surface of the front and the back of these little brick-shaped rectangular beads. In container 4, we see the matte metallic green iris flat silkies, and there's 20 of those included. This has that really cool iris-like effect where you also see the similar colorful metallics show up in those tones of blue, purple, green, gold typically. We have the matte finish, so these are a little bit more toned down and not as glossy and shiny, and have a sort of brushed metallic look. And they remind me of the 2-hole tile beads, but the silkies have the holes that are actually going in a diagonal format. So they're actually going to sit more like diamonds rather than squares. In container 5, we have the backlit petrol chevrons, and there's 20 pieces of those. Another stunning combination, very striking as well, with that backlit effect and those shades of blue and a little bit of teal, some purple, different colors coming through that clear glass. The other side being that very shiny metallic silver, And of course, we have the 2 holes running up through either arm of these chevrons. And that reminds me, if I pick up the chevron from our Findings Companion Pack, let me do it against the silver, it's possible that that could go like that with the 2-hole chevron bead, although the hole is a 1-hole situation on the gold chevron, and of course we have the 2 holes on the glass bead, but it's possible that that still could work together. And that's kind of the idea I was thinking for those. Our 6th container is holding the backlit petrol Baroque cabs with 7 grams inside. Those are so fun. We have that sort of icy looking glass cabochon shape, the clear glass that, again, just like our chevrons, is showing those beautiful reflective colors coming through from the back. And we have the silver metallic covering the flat base of the bead and giving us that shiny property that provides the reflectiveness, with these Baroque cabs having a bit of texture on the top and all sorts of different colors coming through depending on how the light is catching that petrol coating. In container 7, we have a Super Duo selection in the matte metallic green iris with 12.5 grams inside. Another great addition to this palette and selection with these Super Duos that also have that range of different metallic shades leaning towards the blues and greens and purples. They have that matte finish, so these are a bit more toned down as well, and would go wonderfully with anything that we've already seen below. And our 8th container, the final one for this club, contains the metallic green iris paisley duo beads with 7 grams provided. So this is a great contrast with the other matte finished green iris. You can see the difference here with these being smooth and shiny and not as toned down. They have the more reflective surface, but also showing all those similar colors that we saw in the matte varieties. These, of course, having that paisley sort of teardrop-like shape with the 2 holes that run parallel through the side of the beads. So that's everything all together for the winter night theme of the 2-hole Beads of the Month Club. I absolutely love it. All of those AB and iris sorts of finishes are right up my alley, so they make great additions for me personally in my stash. Once again, we have a great surprise and quality assortment of 2-hole check glass beads that you could either put together or use separately with items from past clubs. And if you subscribe to this one, you won't get the same types of 2-hole beads every month. You'll get different ones from month to month as well. I love getting things like this, especially in shapes I haven't worked with as much before, because it inspires me to play around with something new. And not only that, in an unexpected and unplanned color palette on my end. I also want to mention one other perk to signing up for one of their clubs. You get a link that is printed at the bottom of your invoice that changes every month, and that will provide you with 3 new downloadable patterns that you can add to your beading pattern collection. And a lot of those end up using some of these more unique shapes, like the ones you see here, other ones you might get in the 2-hole club, and some that you might see in the Hot and Trendy Club in particular, which we will take a look at now that we have seen what this one has to offer. So bringing back that one, the theme for this month that I received is called Nursery Rhyme, and this is a club that is great for those of you who are more adventurous. You like working with all sorts of different things, whether that's 1-hole shapes or even up to 4-hole shapes. You're going to get a really interesting mix and variety every month in the wide range of check glass beads that are out there. So let's do a little flip over. And that's a gorgeous palette as well. I'm seeing some blues and pinks and copper. And like I said, this is the selection that I will be planning a tutorial for later this month. So let me get organized, and again, we'll take a look at everything here up close, one at a time. Starting out with container number 1 for this theme, we have the Frost Royal Blue Tweedy Arcos Parpuca beads with 14 grams included in this double version of the club. What a gorgeous combination these are with that royal blue glass that is the base of these Arcos beads, and then the silver and the copper that is splashed around all the different sides. These are a 3-hole bead shape. We have 1 hole that goes up through the center of the arc, and then 2 additional holes going up through each side. The second container is holding these satin metallic blue top hole rounds, and there's 50 pieces included. So as it says, these look like regular round check glass beads, but they actually have a hole that is drilled going through the top instead of the center. So the way that they would lay is they would actually hang down a little bit or stick out depending on what you're doing with them. This color is stunning. We have another vibrant royal blue that has this sort of velvety appearance, a little bit suede, kind of satiny, and a little bit frosty. In container 3, we have a selection of the pink opal iris coral chip shape beads with 100 pieces inside. And these are a shape that I really have not played with before at all. They're really interesting. They're a 1-hole shape with the hole going through the center, but they're also a bit irregular. You can see they do imitate the look of a gemstone or coral chip bead with those different angles and also that more flat chip-like shape. These have a very light pastel pink color, letting some light through that creamy opal-like glass, and then you can also see that they have that slight iridescence with that iris coating. In number 4, we have 4 pieces of the light pink AB 22mm large petal beads. And here they are. So these are really interesting. I haven't seen them in quite some time. Very large and dimensional with a hole that is going through the top of that petal and has the wider round base. You could, of course, use these together to make a larger beaded floral component, and you can also use them separately. I'm thinking one of them could make for a part of a pendant component. You could also use 2 of these in a pair of earrings, the way they would hang down and catch the light. I think would be very pretty, going through that light pink glass with that slight luster and AB coating. Our 5th container is holding some more of these pink beads in the ornamental button style with 20 pieces in the container. I've seen so many of these now. They just seem to come in so many different types of colors and finishes. And these have the most beautiful, shiny, satiny, or pearlescent light pink color and coating. They're really shiny and subtly show off those different swirly pressed designs in these glass flat round beads. That design shows up on both sides, and then they have a hole that is located right there at the side going through the center of the bead. Next up in our 6th container, we have the pink/blue with silver flower cup beads. And you can see that these bring that blue and pink together that is in our color palette for this theme, with also that silver wash that is in the details and grooves of these flowers. They are in this trumpet-like shape with the hole going directly through the center from the face of the flower through the bottom, and different spots have that pink showing up, other spots have the blue, and then some areas are left more crystal clear. Container 7 is holding the blue pearl mini daggers with 100 pieces inside. Another very satiny and vibrant mid-tone of blue. These are, of course, the same shape and style as their counterpart, the regular dagger beads. In the full size, these are just the smaller, I think maybe 3 by 7 millimeter size. They have the drop-like shape and also a petal-like shape with a hole at the top and then that slightly pointed area at the bottom. And our final container is holding the bronze copper bow tie beads. There's 12 grams inside. So this is another really interesting 3-hole shape in this brushed, toned down metallic copper finish. You can see the 2 holes going through the sides of the beads and the one going up through the center, and that definite bow tie-like shape. And putting that Arcos bead right up to that, you can see how that would fit right into that curved area of the Arcos bead nicely. So those are 2 beads that definitely pair well together, since they both have 3 holes and fit together nicely. So that wraps it up for the Double Hot and Trendy Beads of the Month Club in Nursery Rhyme. Another very stunning selection, well-coordinated, and unique selection of items that I am so excited to dig into and play around with. Beads of the Month Club always does a fantastic job, in my opinion, with everything you could ask for in a subscription. They have great customer service. Their palettes are well thought out. The beads and findings are high quality. You never get the same thing back to back. And they're overall just really reliable on their shipping time frame and what you expect to come every month in their packages. So I highly recommend them as usual. Check out their website to find out all the details you need to know about all of their different types of clubs. And as a reminder, if you'd like to try them out, you can use that coupon code OPAL10 to save 10% off the first month of your first club. So that wraps it up for another month. I hope you enjoyed checking out these 2 clubs and seeing what came in the mail this time around. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of anything you see here today or anything else you'd like to say. Stay tuned for an upcoming tutorial. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share the video wherever you like. That's all I have for now. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope to see you again real soon. And until next time, wishing you a fabulous rest of your day, and as always, happy beading.